Good morning, everyone. Today is a beautiful day outside, and it is Wednesday, April the 29th. 2 more days left in the month of April. Today, you are going to need some things that I did not tell your parents in the email, so you might need a few minutes to get these things together. But we're going to do some fun math today because we're going to be learning about temperature and crickets. So you're going to need your journal. You're going to need something to write with. You're going to need your little bowl of objects, like 20 or 30 buttons or rocks or beads, something like that. And then if you have a bunch of pencils, I'm going to be using these pencils so that we can count by tens. Normally, if we were at school, we would use the bank materials. Remember all the beautiful little golden beads and golden bead 10 bars that we have at school to count? We don't have those at home, so we're going to have to improvise. So take a minute to get your object bowl and then find something. I'm using pencils, but you could use, you could use forks. You could cut pieces of ribbon. You could go outside and find some sticks. But go ahead and gather something that you want to use for your tens, and you'll need probably 10 or 15 of those things. Okay? So we're going to get started. I was doing some reading about weather, and I came across something very interesting. Did you know that if you go outside tonight on an evening where the temperature is kind of warm, 55 degrees, that you can listen to the sound of crickets chirping to be able to tell what the exact temperature really is? You can. Crickets can be used as thermometers. And there's a really cool reason why they are able to do this. So we've been talking a lot about how people a long time ago, before there was TV and before there were computers and the internet and thermometers even, farmers and people who were living back then had to look to things in nature all around them to be able to tell what was going on in the world with the weather, with the time of the year, with so many things, when to plant their food. And so this is just another example of how smart people had to be back then and how they had to really pay attention and listen carefully and watch closely to the things that were happening all around them in nature. And listening to the sounds of crickets is one thing people observed. I am going to play a recording right now of a cricket called the snowy tree cricket. Okay, and I just want us to listen to the snowy tree cricket first before we do our activity. So this is the snowy tree cricket. Sometimes this cricket is called the thermometer cricket because its chirps are easy to count and they can connect or help you figure what the temperature is in a certain place. So let's listen. This is a cricket. It is a male cricket, and this cricket lives in Arizona. here is another example of a snowy tree cricket. This cricket lives in Texas. Okay, so we just heard two different chirps from the same type of cricket, but I want to play them again and I want you to really listen to the difference, okay? One cricket chirp is going to sound really loud and fast, and the other cricket sound is going to sound different. So I'm going to play the loud and fast one again. Okay, now I'm going to play the other one. Okay, here's another one that's loud and fast. And here's another one. So the difference in those different kinds of chirps, even though they're from the same cricket, is because the temperature was different during the time that they were chirping. So when the weather is warm or hot, the chirps are going to be really loud and really fast, like this one. But when the weather is cooler, kind of chillier, then the cricket is going to slow down and his chirp is going to sound more like this. Now there is a reason for that, boys and girls, that you can do some research today. If we know that crickets are cold-blooded insects, what do we know about cold-blooded living things? What do we know that they have to do with their body temperature when it is cold outside or when it is hot outside? And think about what that means for the snowy tree cricket, okay? So that's something extra that we can talk about tomorrow. But let's get to our math activity. So to determine the temperature based on listening to cricket chirps, you need to go outside tonight and you need to take a timer and listen for the sound of crickets chirping. Once you find a place where crickets are chirping, you need to press start on your timer and time how many cricket chirps you can hear in 14 seconds. Okay? So we're going to do that together right now with the loud cricket, the loud and fast cricket that was happening in a warm weather. So this is exactly 14 seconds. So I want you to count with me how many chirps we can hear in 14 seconds. Hang on 1 second. Okay, let's try it. Let's start right now. Let's count together. Ready? Okay, I counted 40 chirps. Okay, do you want to listen to it again? I counted 40 chirps. Try again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, got to 40 again. Okay, so once you count how many chirps you hear in 14 seconds, we heard 40. 40 chirps. 40 chirps, okay? And then after you get that, then you're going to add, let me make sure I'm telling you the right thing to do. Yes, after you get the number of chirps, then you're going to add 40 to that, okay? So even if you had counted, 20 chirps, or if you count 30 chirps, you're always going to add 40 to whatever number of chirps you hear, okay? And that is how you can determine what the temperature is outside. So if we heard 40 chirps and we need to add 40 to that, this is what we do. And this is when you're going to need your tens and you're going to need your objects, okay? So let's make 40 with our materials. I'm going to call them the beads because that's what we call them at school, okay? So 40. 40 is 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. 4 tens makes 40. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay? 40 plus 40. So we need to make 40 again. 1 10, 2 tens. Can you guys see? 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40. 4 tens make 40. We need to add all of these together now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 40 plus 40 equals 80, or 8 tens. 80. This is how we write 80. An 8 and a 0. So we were just dealing with tens today. We did not need to use our little unit objects. So, right, because there were 4 tens and 0 units, 4 tens and 0 units, and 80 is 8 tens and 0 units. So when you go outside and if you are to hear 40 cricket chirps, add 40 to that and you'll be able to tell that it's about 80 degrees outside. Pretty neat. So see if you can go outside this evening and do that. I don't know if it's going to be warm enough for crickets tonight. You might have to wait. Saturday is supposed to be very warm. So I think that that would be a great time to go out to see if you can hear the crickets and figure out the temperature. Let's do one more addition activity since we have our tens and our units. Okay, and we'll stick with the crickets. Let's find another cricket recording. So that was 80 degrees is pretty warm. So let's try to listen to, so that was the snowy tree cricket. Let's see what a field cricket sounds like. Well, that says that page doesn't exist, so we're not going to listen to a field cricket. We will listen to the snowy tree cricket again. All right, so that was from a warm part of the country. Let's listen to cricket chirps from a cold part of the country. All right. So if it's cold, it's going to sound a little bit softer and a little bit slower, so you have to really listen. Okay, I counted 23. Did everybody else count that? If you didn't, let's just say it's 23 so we can do the math lesson together. So I heard 23 cricket chirps. So on our little equation, we're going to erase the 40. We can erase that. And for chirps, we are going to add 23. 23 is 2 tens and 3 units. Okay, and then we'll add 40 to 23 to get the temperature for where that snowy tree cricket was. Okay, so to do this, we're going to make 23 with our beads. 23 is 2 tens and 3 units. 1 10, 2 tens, oops, yeah, 2 tens. 2 tens is 20. 10, 20. And then we need 3 units for 23. 1, 2, 3. 2 tens and 3 units make 23. Now we need to add 40 to that. So remember, 40 is 4 tens and 0 units. 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so when we are adding numbers, we always add the units first. So we need to add 3 units and 0 units. 3 units plus 0 units is 1, 2, 3. Okay. After you add your units, then we'll add our tens. So bring them down and add all the tens together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. $23 plus 40 equals 63. So this temperature outside is 63 degrees. Keep playing around with that today. See what kind of different species of crickets make different sounds. Both of those crickets were crickets from the West in states like Arizona and Texas. do your own research today and see what Kentucky crickets sound like, and do some calculations today with your tens and with your units, and have fun with it. I thought that was a really neat little fact about the weather and about insects. Tomorrow we'll be making our own thermometer, not with crickets, but one thing that I did not tell you, parents, is that for the thermometer tomorrow, you're going to need some kind of Play-Doh or clay. So you will need a glass jar with a small mouth. You'll need rubbing alcohol. You'll need water. I guess we could use food coloring if we want to. We'll need a straw and clay or Play-Doh. Okay, so everybody have a fun day. It's going to rain later this afternoon, so get out and play outside while you can, and I will see you all tomorrow. This thing is so tricky.